Okay, awesome. Well, hello everyone and welcome tonight. We are so excited to have you on here with us tonight. Thank you so much for coming. You have been invited because the person who invited you respects you and cares about you and would just love for you to know just what we're up to. So this is going to be relaxed and fun. We're just going to share some quick stories and info. We hope you enjoy listening and perhaps you'll think of someone in your life needing to hear this message. So, again, thank you for coming. My name is Lindsay. I live in New Jersey with my husband and my four girls. They are 10, 8, 6.5, and 4.5. And this year, I'm actually homeschooling everyone. So, everything is new for us. If you had met me 2.5 years ago, you would have seen a tired, and cranky, rundown stay at home mom with chronic migraines and absolutely no energy. I actually thought this was pretty normal because I had young children. And the worst part of all of this was that it wasn't just me not being at my best self, but two of my girls were actually chronically sick. I'm not sure if anybody can relate, but even with just one sick kid, the whole family suffers, right? So they suffered from things like acid reflux as babies, chronic sinus infections, asthma, allergies, pneumonia, eczema, basically just a weak immune system overall. And I mean, if there was a virus out there, they would catch it. So we spent about 5 years in and out of doctors' offices, needing antibiotics 6 to 10 times per year and prednisone 4 to 5 times per year. And then I had a friend who invited me to a call similar to this. And I listened to a mom share how she had a 4-year-old daughter who had never been on prescription medications. And that really caught my attention, especially with everything that we had gone through, right? So I could not believe it. I listened more and started learning about the healthy living revolution and our concentrated plant powders. So we got started that night. And now, 2.5 years later, I am so happy to share with you that I have not had a migraine in over 2 years. I feel great. I have tons of energy. And I'm not as irritable with my kids as I once was. But my biggest win overall is that my kids are thriving. They No one has needed antibiotics or prednisones in these last 2.5 years. And actually, this past May, my daughter's pulmonologist took her off of all of her asthma meds. And I've honestly never seen my kids happier or healthier. Um, and I'm forever grateful. So thank you so much for allowing me to share my story with you. And I am going to pass it over to my friend, Allie.
Hi, I'm Allie Votruba, and I am a pediatric cardiac intensive care nurse here in St. Louis, and I have 3 little kids like Lindsay. I'm homeschooling this year, and they are 7, 5, and 2, so we're just kind of in the thick of it. And as much as I always thought that I was a nurse, so I was well educated on health, and it wasn't really until I met this boy and I had these plant capsules, these plant powdered capsules started showing up at my apartment in New York City where I was living at the time. And when I first started eating these capsules, which I knew nothing about, I heard that they were fruits and vegetables, and that was it. And I figured, you know what, I'm not eating enough fruits and vegetables, but so what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Sorry, all of my kids are awake and my husband's not here. So just take that into account. I went over their ages, if that helps you. Okay, so I started wondering, what's going on here? Sure, they're plant capsules, fruits and vegetables, game on. I know fruits and vegetables are good for us. Everybody knows that. Very few people will question whether or not fruits and vegetables are good for us. And I spent a few years in that space of like, sure, whatever. But it wasn't until I started seeing some changes in my own health, and then I got pregnant with my first son, that I realized that I knew a lot about disease. I knew a lot about medicine. I really didn't know a whole lot about health. And it was in that journey when I started thinking back going, hey, I used to be a chronic antibiotic user who filled a script every 6 to 8 weeks. And I haven't filled one in 3 years. And now I'm pregnant with this baby. And I didn't have to stop doing anything I was doing. And I didn't have to start doing anything new, right? I use Juice Plus as my prenatal. I use these plant capsules as my prenatal because babies and bodies and cells were meant to grow off of food. And that all of a sudden opened this whole rabbit hole for me. And I wanted to learn more. I wanted to understand more of like, what really is this? What's going on here? And so I started to read and I started to research and I started to listen to what people were saying. And when we start looking at the research, not just in the Juice Plus world, in the general world, we're seeing that fruits and vegetables are foundational, and they are the okay. They are the foundation for health. And so when you have to be quiet. Okay, so what are these? What are these capsules? They are fruits and vegetables in a capsule. That's all they are. They have a nutrition label, not a supplement label. Juice Plus is just food. It is the same thing that I took as a prenatal. I started opening into her mouth when she was 6 months old. It's the same thing my 95-year-old grandmother eats, because all people who can eat food can eat Juice Plus. It's just food. That was kind of a big turning point for me, because I think a lot of us think about supplements, we think about vitamins, we think about bridging the gap. We think we know that we're not maybe getting everything we need in our diets, but we don't necessarily know what to do about it. So the fact that it was just fruits and vegetables was really powerful for me, and I was excited about that. But then I'm a mom and I was pregnant, and I wanted to be really, really sure that what I was giving my body was pure enough that I could feel good about it in pregnancy and in breastfeeding and in opening it in my baby's mouths. And so that's where this NSF certification comes in. And this NSF certification is a third-party validation that comes in, and they guarantee that every single thing that's in there is in there, and there's nothing in there that they didn't claim, which means we don't have to worry about fungicides, herbicides, heavy metals, molds, all of these contaminants that are running rampant in the supplement industry. Not only contaminants, but we know that we're actually getting what they say. And unfortunately, our supplement industry is wildly unregulated. And so as much as something may be labeled to be good, you can't be guaranteed that it's not 90% sawdust. So the fact that there's an NSF certification promised us that. It's a third-party entity, and it is the gold standard. Very, very, very few things carry an NSF certification. And that was super powerful for me. So I could feel good about the purity of it. But I'm also a nurse, which makes me kind of snobby when it comes to healthcare stuff, right? And so it wasn't until I saw the research that I started to feel like this was my moral and ethical obligation to share this with people, because there are 41 different research studies, double-blind, placebo-controlled, gold standard research studies that show that Juice Plus gets into your bloodstream first and foremost. And when it gets into your bloodstream, it does really great things. We are seeing decreased, sorry, I'm a little jumbled. We're seeing increased cardiovascular wellness, increased wound healing, decreased systemic inflammation. First and foremost, it's bioavailable. It's balancing our immune system. So right now in our world, we're talking about like immune boosting, but hey, don't get in my face. Immune boosting, but autoimmune disorders are running rampant. They're running rampant. And unfortunately, an autoimmune disorder doesn't need boosting of the immune system. It needs balancing of the immune system. But here's the cool thing. Food balances our immune system. Fruits and vegetables balance our immune system because they work perfectly together. And there is something that blew my mind, right? So everybody sit here and think about for a minute, how many plant nutrients do you think are in one apple? Okay, right? Most of us take a multivitamin. There's maybe 12, 15 different vitamins, minerals that are in there. And we all kind of probably think we've got a good one. It wasn't until I realized that plants, there's synergistic effect of all the different things that are working inside that plant are one of the things that makes it so powerful. Our body knows perfectly what to do with that entire food. It is not meant to just process vitamin C in isolation. It is not meant to just process zinc all by itself, right? It comes in this whole perfect form because it needs all of its buddies to help open up those doors and work really well in our bodies. So when I found out that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, right, guys? Has over 25,000 plant nutrients in it. That is the equivalent of taking this ingredient label. You ready? Sorry, I elbowed my daughter in the head. Okay. 25, that's 10,000. That is 10,000. 25,000, that's an apple. That is every single plant. That is every single fruit and vegetable, you guys. And if I can do this, anybody can do this. So you guys, I'm gonna turf this to Julie.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen Allie do it like that. That was awesome. Thank you so much. And for her little crew joining us, I love it. Well, my name's Julie, and I'm excited to share my story with you tonight. It's funny how Lindsay and Allie's and I's all weave so perfectly together. Real quickly, what I want to show you, because Allie did such a beautiful job explaining our amazing product, Juice Plus, but I just love to look at it. So this is what it looks like. Oh, I can't hold it right. Okay, this is our fruit. That's our veggie and our berry capsule. And here's our fruit capsule. This is just whole fruits, vegetables, and berries, blended up, water and sugar removed, and the phytonutrition left over. So it's food in a capsule. It's just brilliant. But where I was 6 years ago is health was really important to me. Because 2 years prior, my mom had been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. She was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. She was in her early 50s, and it seemed like within about 30 days, she could barely walk. And it took a while for us to get that diagnosis. And the response to that diagnosis was a really harsh medication. And I just thought, where is she going to be in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years? What about me and my siblings who all have really out of balance immune systems and are struggling already in our health? And we're just in our 20s. It just, the diagnosis set me down some rabbit holes. And so maybe you've been there, maybe you haven't, but I was the person watching all the food documentaries, learning all about what I could do to help, reverse disease or prevent disease. What is it that we need to do for optimal health? Because my family was struggling. And the one thing that was consistent in every piece that I learned was fruits and vegetables. That was the one consistent answer, is that our bodies were designed to really live off of plants, and that plants can help to bring our body back into balance. So I was 2 years into that journey when I learned that somebody was brilliant and came along and did all the messy and hard part for me and put it in a capsule. At the time, I was a new mom to a 4-month-old, and I learned that I could open up this little veggie capsule and put those powders into his mouth or into his food when he turned 6 months old. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. And one of the coolest things about it was I had remembered that my uncle was taking this Juice Plus product 17 years prior when he was fighting melanoma and on chemotherapy. And I thought, wow, this product has been around for a long time, and you can take it in all sorts of circumstances. This is unique, and I'd love to have that fuel in my body. And I was a lot like Lindsay. I was tired all the time. I was kind of moody. And really what I was just sick. I was that chronically sick child and adult. I was on antibiotics about every 6 to 8 months, or 6 to 8 weeks. I was, chronic tonsillitis, sinus infections, allergies. If there was a virus, like Lindsay said, I was probably the one to catch it. And it was just normal to me. I didn't think differently about it. So after I got on Juice Plus, I went 2 whole months not needing an antibiotic, and I was shocked. I couldn't believe it was that powerful in my body. Today, it's been 6 years since I've been on antibiotic. It just keeps getting better. I found that I had more energy. I wasn't sleeping in my car at lunchtime at work anymore. And I also found that I was happier, which I later learned is because our gut and our brain are so closely connected. And these plant powders were just getting in and feeding my good gut bacteria and helping my gut to work in the way that it needed to. But what gave me so much peace of mind is what Allie said. It was balancing out my immune system. My family, along with many people I talk to, are struggling in the area of autoimmune. This is the only thing out there that's actually proven to go in and to bring your immune system back into balance. And what's amazing is it does it within 90 days. So I was so impressed when I found the product and got started. I couldn't believe 2 months in that I had an experience, because I got on it because it made sense. I didn't get on it to change anything. I didn't get on it to fix something. I got on it because I know plants are valuable to our bodies. And so when I had this amazing experience, I asked to look more into the research. And the more I dug into the research, just like Allie said, the more I thought of people in my life that needed to know about this amazing product. I thought about friends that were struggling, friends with kids who were struggling, some of my parents' friends who were struggling. And I thought, if I know about this, they deserve to know about it. So that was at the time when I said yes to partnering with this amazing company and the mission that we are on to inspire healthy living around the world. And Juice Plus, even though it's been around for 26 years, it's the most thoroughly researched whole food product and largest selling whole food product in the world. It's in over 20 countries. We're still in only about 2 to 3% of homes. And I have had so much fun sharing this little gift of plants in a capsule with as many people as I can over the last 6 years, and partnering with the amazing people you see on this call tonight to do so. So tonight, what we wanted to do was just pique your curiosity about our product. What's really important to us is that we talk to you about what you are looking for. We want to take this conversation offline, and we want to talk to you one-on-one. So if you have more questions, or you're interested in learning more about our research or our stories, or you want to see how this could fit into your life, please reach out to the person that invited you. And if you're curious to learn more about the mission that we're on, about sharing this simple solution with more families, we invite you to join us next Monday night. We will be right back here on this Zoom number at 7:30 doing a very similar call that is more focused on our community and our mission. So at this point, I'm